So this is what it looks like once it's done. So let's just start and make this happen. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video, we saw the thumbnail. I'm going to retrofit the rear fog light on the X5 E53, first X5 they made. And this is going to be a little bit more complex than it was on the F10. There's another F10 here. If you want to have a rear fog light here, which is already all pre-wired here, all you need to do is put in a new switch and that's it. In worst case, you have to code it, but the hardware is there, the cables are there, the bulbs are there, everything is there. You just need a switch to operate it. X5 on the other hand is nothing. I got a switch, and of course you need a switch. Here you have the little button. This is the current situation, that's what you get in the States. Just a light switch, fog lights for the front, and this is your dimming. Same here, but here you have a separate switch for the rear fog light. So changing this is the first step, and then you have to pull a wire from here all the way somewhere over there where the light control module is and pin it in. You have to pin it in here and in the module, and the wire in between, that is your front retrofit section. And then you have to make another one in the rear. In the rear you have to go from module to the, that's why the signal comes out, to the actual light bulbs, which they're not there. So here's some of what you need. You need of course the switch, and you gotta put in a new wire. You need a new wire, take an 18 gauge here. You don't need a fuse here, because it's all controlled by the car. You need a bunch of pins, and I have a couple different ones. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm gonna need, but apparently this one I will need, one of them. Part number here. I got two, just in case. Then with these here, I will not need as many as I have here, but just in case, got them. This is the number ending on it. This is a little wider one, this is a smaller one. Also with these here, I have to see if I need them at all, if they're just a different project at this point of right now. Your connectors, cables, you need of course bulbs. These are 21 watt bulbs. And of course you need these parts here. This is your bulb holder. And once you get to the light, you will also notice that you have to make space for the bulb holder first, because there's, it's not prepared for a retrofit. So you will have to break that open and make space so these actually can go in. We get there, once we get there, that's pretty much it. It's not expensive. This is the most expensive one, of course. These pinions, not that much. Bulbs, not that expensive. Holders, neither. Cable is cable. So for the front section, I will first take out the vent, and then you can access the switch from the top. It's easier, because you have one hook here and one hook here. If you kind of bend it in, you can reach it then and use another tool to get it out. You know, it's not that nice. Newer cars are easier, but it is what it is. After that, I probably have to make some space to out the cable. I will probably have to drop the cover here to go underneath the steering column, remove the felted covers here on both sides, and I believe there's gonna be enough space to go through it. You also have to remove down here the cover on the side for your Footwell cover there, and a little bit of the carpet, and you can route it down behind there. So you have little clips down here, and now you can see easy down here. You just have to like let these up on the tension, and it comes out. Once you got it out, you have to remove the cover. You can see here, there's a little pin here holding the cover over. Once out, you can see the numbers. One side is 1 through 6, other side is 7 to 10. I have to pin into pin 8, just empty one here. But first I'm going to remove one to make sure I get the right pins here. I'm going to remove pin 11, the yellow cable, just a little bit tension. I'll just tuck in here to unlock it. It comes right out. It's of course stuck again. There we are. Now I'm just making sure I get the right pins, and this looks pretty much like the right pin here. It's a little X, little cut out. This is round, this is a little square. That was the one ending in 6968. Didn't know it comes with one on both ends. We have a lot more extra right now. Anyway, putting back pin 11. I'm going to pin in pin 8. Click, that's it. So right now, before cutting my cable, I actually want to lay it first, so I know how much I need exactly. So I'm going to remove the panel down here to have my access here and can work from underneath. And I'm going to pull the cable over to the other side, and then I can cut it and don't waste any cable. So you just remove a couple screws. First the button panel, and the top one here. Now you see you have space here to really route the cable through. Once you take these covers off, there's quite enough space back here to easily put a cable. So I'm just gonna like hook this cable up now here on top, lay it, strap it down, and then I can put this side back together. But I will wait with that until I finish on the other side, because then I can already make a check that this cable is working before I start putting things back together. So I actually quite like the way I routed the cable. See, green comes from here, and this doesn't go out further anyway. It doesn't matter much, right? This is here, the end of it, and I have the same space here. It comes from there, through here. The other cables run out here on the outside. When I went through there, have a little a little hole here that holds for me. That's all in the back of it. So I kind of save on cable clips. Down here, I went through this little plate, making sure I'm out of the way of any rotating parts. So that's not going anywhere. Comes out here, so you just like a guiding through here. Here I used this existing holder to go through, and I put a cable binder here, and off it goes. And just like that, the driver's side wiring is ready. Now I can already put the connect back together and install the switch. Just like that, just slide your connector back to the housing and then just clip it in the switch. That's the new look. Don't mind the dust. Not installing it yet all the way, because just in case it has to come out again. Just hang it in here a little bit, it's fine. Now I'm going to take the passenger side apart and find the light control module. So on the passenger side, you remove your side covering here. Cable comes out here. I'm going to tuck it behind the carpet. You have to just manhandle it out a little bit. I'm going to use the cable harness back here to go through. And this black box here on the right corner where your foot is as passenger, that's the light control module. Also says on there LCM. So if a couple connectors in here. So from the LCM we have 3 connectors. The white one at the bottom, a black one in the middle, and there's another one on top. We don't need that. We only need the one in the middle. And again, we have to slide out the cable rows in there, right? Blue. We have to unnetch this side here and this side here, and then they slide out. And then you can, even if I remember right, separate all 3 of them. So make sure you remember what was there. And we're looking for pin number 45. So once you remove the cover, pin 45 is on the inner side. See there it is, not empty. The pin you use is this one, ending 5201. And it looks something like this. It's pretty squarish. I'm gonna pin this in, I'm gonna connect it, tuck away my cable. I hooked up the cable up here. I've connected it to this one, so holds, goes behind. It went through existing cable ties up here, went behind the big harness, have some leftover wire here tucked away, just because, and I'll hide it behind here, following the actual wire loom. So all the wires are connected. Quick light check. I'm gonna tap the, here, you can see the little green light coming on. That's for the front foggers. Just make sure they actually work. Can you imagine if I got like a defect switch? So annoyed. Okay, foggers work. I have more plans for the fog lights, so stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. And now I'm gonna tap the here. Yeah, okay, so this little orange light that's coming on here, if you're in the States, you probably don't have it, and you cannot do that. You because you only have one button instead of two, and that means I'm sending a signal out and the signal is being recognized. So now I can put the front back together and move to the rear for the second part of this retrofit. So here on the rear we got a few things to do to get the lights up there. First, don't even bother with the tailgate, we get there later. First, I really want to check and make sure that I get a signal here. So bottom comes out, spare wheel comes out, compressor if you have it assembly, or the bracing comes out, and then you can access the modules. You need a TCM, a trailer control module. Since I just retrofitted my OEM trailer hitch, I have that module. Just gotta go find it again. And there we have pin number 3 that we're gonna tap into. First, check to make sure we get a signal from there. We get 12 volt out of it. We can take one of those, or take one of those. It's just 12 volt, that is all. You can actually swing this over and have it hold up there, but this somehow does flex, and it hit me on the head twice, so won't be a third time. So this is your TCM, as it clearly states, TCM2. Of course it's German. This is the Anhängermodul. And here we have the connector for it. And there's only one missing. Number 3 is empty, and that is the exit or the outgoing wire for our lights. Simple as that. You're gonna clamp a cable in here. This is the part number for this pin. Of course, I'm already gonna hook up a wire to it, and then from down here, first I check if I have a signal on there, and then after that I'm gonna route the wire from down here, out here, through here, through here. This one here, this grommet in there, will give you access to your tailgate. There it is. You go from here into the lower tailgate, and from there you split both sides. But first let's check if we have juice. So because I don't want to mess around too much, I already took out the covers here, already out the cable from here from the grommet through this entire wire harness down to where it needs to be, and I just trimmed on the pin. When I clip this in, and then test my signal. Once that works, I have to assess how much cable I need and then cut it to length. I don't want to waste too much of it. So the cable is pinned in. Pin number 3, I use my entire spool. Light is on. Rear fog light is supposedly on, at least it shows on in the instrument cluster. Now I'm just going to use and check, see if I get 12 volt out of here. 12 volt. Fantastic. Since I got my cable already routed through the harness all the way to here, I'm going to put this back together off camera, and then we continue with the tailgate. That's where the action goes on. So now, before I can pull the cable through the grommet, to make some space here, this can stay on, but you will have to remove a bunch of screws to take this out. First you pry this one out here. Just use your hand. The spool is not doing it. Pry this out. You pry from the rear side, because on the other side towards the car you have these little noses. Bunch of more screws down here. You take those out, and you also have screws underneath here on both sides and underneath the reflectors. So take those out carefully. Then we can take the top part off. This part comes off by itself. And you take this part off, and then you can access your lights, because you will have to unscrew this light to make space to work on here. So I pulled the cable through the grommet down here. Just taking out here right now. From here I'm gonna route it underneath there. From here I'm gonna move it to one side. Just use the little clamp to route to the other side also. Also toss the wheel back in. There's some space to work in here. Almost done. And then again pin 3. So I have to go. The only one that is open. Brown is ground. Your white yellow is for your reverse light. And now black is going to be my rear fog light. But now I'm just going to cut this to length. Remove the housing here. So I can pin in the white connector. You just remove this yellow, this white stuff here. Comes out. Then you have access to your connector. I'm going to tell you which pin I'm using for it. So I just pinned out number 2 for the reverse light. This is ending 6965 part number, the one I showed you earlier. This is the white rectangular one. And it's interesting that you need 4 different pins. 2 of these and 1 wire of these for your lights here. You need one round one for the pin to your TCM. You need one in the front to connect to your light switch, and you need a different one on the right side to connect to your light control module. 4 different pins. And now, since we have a signal, a proven signal, we tested it before, going to the connector. Last thing is the taillight assembly. You have 3 8mm hex. You take those off. Then what you gotta do, I will took the right side out. You have a little red cover on here and you have to cut this out. You can see it more or less down there, that's the cover. And you have 4 bridges you have to cut, and then you can insert your light bulb in the holder. Part numbers once more for the holder. Light bulb, just got those here. 20 watt Osram. This is the lid, by the way, you have to cut out. You cut 3 carefully, and then the 4th you bend it out, and suddenly the bulb is in. So as you can see, one works, one doesn't work. Now I have to troubleshoot what's the problem here. Worst case, it's my traverse cable, because obviously I get power from here into here. Can only be the power back out from here to here, or something in the assembly here. We'll take a look at that. And with a little bit of just cross changing parts, took the assembly from the side that works over here. Added it work, so my cable are fine. Then I'll change the bulb. Both bulbs work. It is the connector, the socket holder that clearly is bent. You can see I just bent it straight again, then it should work. So I did bend the contact a little bit, took it out just like other connectors, and now the bulb is contact, works, lights back in, tailgate back together, finally done. So lastly, I just want to show you the difference between, you know, your regular light and the fog light, especially in brightness. And there you have it. It's easily twice as bright as your regular light, which it should be. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.